So ever since this card for UFC 304 has been announced, everybody has been talking about either the main event, which is Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad, or they've been talking about the co-main event with Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. But bro, why is nobody talking about the feature fight between Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby Green? This fight is arguably the most interesting fight in the card in my opinion, and it's gonna have a fun build-up, man. You know that Bobby Green and Paddy are gonna build up this fight with the trash talk. And I mean, Bobby has already been talking trash for months, so you know Paddy is going to talk some trash back, and you know there's no way Paddy's not going to. If anything, Paddy's gonna welcome it, and we're gonna have probably a highlight moment with some back and forth for the UFC 304 press conference, and you can tell it's gonna carry the press conference as well. So I'm looking forward to this, man. This is gonna be fun. And if you ask me, this matchup is perfect for Paddy. And if you look at the top 15, Bobby Green might be the only one Paddy could probably beat, because if I'm gonna be honest, he's not getting past Rafael dos Anjos, he's not getting past Benoit Saint Denis, Jalen Turner, or Dan Hooker. He could probably handle Moicano since his striking isn't great, but even then Moicano's jiu-jitsu is probably better than Paddy's. This matchup between Bobby and Paddy is like a coin flip, but if you ask me, I do believe Bobby will end up winning. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. I mean, a lot of MMA fans feel the same way, because if you check out the opening odds, Paddy Pimblett is a plus 210 as the underdog against Bobby Green, who's the minus 250 favorite. If the odds stick, it will be the first time ever that Paddy's been the underdog in his entire UFC career. And a lot of people are not blind. They could tell that Paddy Pimblett isn't that good. Paddy's striking is horrendous. I mean, this guy throws hooks like he's one of those inflatable tube men. And not to mention, he has his chin sticking right up there in the air. And not to mention, the dude has no distance management. This dude keeps getting hit over and over again. This guy keeps getting nailed with every hit, or even rocked in pretty much all of his fights. Take the fight with Jerry Gordon for an example. Paddy was clearly taller and he had a way longer reach than Gordon, but instead of using that to his advantage to keep distance, he went charging in with a flurry of punches. And what happened in that fight? Paddy just kept getting countered over and over again. But hey, I'll give Paddy some credit. The guy has some serious power and he could be super explosive at times, even if his striking is shit. And call me crazy, but I could potentially see Paddy catching Bobby Green. Bobby uses a lot of head movement, and we've seen him get caught plenty of times. Sure, Bobby is great at slipping and countering, but that does leave him open to be countered. We've seen it happen. I mean, we've seen him get rocked by Jim Miller and Tony Ferguson. But when you really think about it, Bobby is still the better striker. He's faster and slicker, like I mentioned earlier, and Paddy tends to leave his chin up in the air, and now he's up against the most dangerous striker he's ever faced in his MMA career. With his chin exposed like that, he's definitely in a lot of danger in this fight with Bobby, man. There's no doubt about that. And something I find more interesting is how is the grappling exchanges going to look in this fight. Because Bobby Green has a 74% takedown accuracy in his career. And I'm aware Paddy is a good grappler and he doesn't really shoot for takedowns. But he has really good trips, good sweeps. But I don't see that working on Green, since that would mean that Green would have to initiate in the clinch, you know, because Paddy would need weight pushing against him for those type of trips to work. Then again, we're not sure if Paddy's going to try to grapple. Lately, he seems to just want to stand and trade punches. He hasn't really been focusing on his grappling, except maybe in that Tony Ferguson fight. But let's be real, Tony's not in his prime anymore and can hardly defend a takedown. Other than that, it's usually Paddy who ends up on the ground. I think Bobby just has really good wrestling instincts to prevent majority, if not all, of Paddy's attempts for a takedown. I'm predicting that Bobby Green will put on a performance similar to what we've seen against Jim Miller or Nasrat, where he steps up his game, where he becomes full Ultra Instinct, full Max Holloway. And I could totally see him just countering Paddy over and over again. And it's quite possible that Paddy could just get knocked out. Bobby has knocked out guys like Grant Dawson and I like Quinta, so it wouldn't really shock me, to be honest. But if I had to bet, I would say Bobby is likely to win by unanimous decision. I just want to point out that this is a crucial fight for Paddy's career. If he loses to Bobby, which it seems likely, it could really send him back. And sure, the sport's unpredictable and maybe Paddy can land a lucky shot and win, but if he loses, where does he go from here? Will he just keep fighting unranked fighters again and again? And if Paddy wins, who is he gonna fight in the top 15? Because everyone in the top 15 beats him, if not murders him. And if you ask me, it doesn't look good for Paddy either way. And as for Bobby, I'm happy that Bobby Green is getting this fight because he's more popular than ever before. He has a fun style, great striking, and he always brings a good show. He's a model fighter for the UFC, comes for a paycheck, gives a show to the audience, and regardless if Bobby loses or wins this fight, either way he's gonna get paid since he got this big fight with Paddy. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.